To see you. Hello and good evening. Welcome to the Cobb County Sheriff's Office first quarterly briefing. My name is Chris Jose with Channel 2 Action News, WSB TV in Atlanta. I am the station's Cobb County Bureau Chief, and I will be your host, your MC this evening. Now, the Sheriff's Office has a lot to get to. They have a big lineup here this evening. I can tell you just from looking at it, there was a lot to talk about. There's a lot to get to, and we will dive right in. But first, I want to say a big hello to the folks watching at home right now, live on Facebook and also on YouTube. Thank you for spending part of your dinner with us tonight. We should also mention that there is a live audience with us right now inside the Anderson Theater, inside the Cobb County Civic Center in Marietta. We should mention that everyone is socially distant. We're following CDC guidelines and everyone wearing a mask this evening, so making sure that everyone here tonight is safe. We will begin tonight with a presentation of the colors and the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by Deputy Alex Yidis. Following that, we will have an opening prayer by Reverend Felix Ferrafino from Roca de Salvacion Church. Please stand for the presentation of the flags at this time. On.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Order. On. Thank you. Please be seated.
Thank you for that. And thank you for those watching again at home right now. Quick housekeeping note, if you have any questions at this time, please post them in the chat, in that Facebook chat, or email them to media@cobbsheriff.org. Again, if you're watching at home right now, live on YouTube or Facebook, make sure you can leave those questions, those comments on the chat online, or also email those questions to media@cobbsheriff.org. And for those in person, you can write it on the index card, and we'll make sure someone picks up those index cards, and we'll make sure to get those questions asked a little bit later on this evening. First up on deck right now, I'd like to bring up Deputy Chief Rhonda Anderson.
Thought of that one. Good evening. It's great to be with you all. For those tuning in online, thank you for joining us for our first ever Cobb County Sheriff's Office quarterly briefing. I'm Chief Deputy Rhonda Anderson. I'm a proud Cobb County native, a breast cancer survivor, and a law enforcement history maker. I started my law enforcement career at the Cobb Sheriff's Office, and I was the first Black female hired as a deputy by the Sheriff's Office. I'm also honored to stand before you today as the second Black female chief deputy and second in command to the first Black sheriff of Cobb County. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge all the elected officials who are here tonight. If you are elected, please stand so we can recognize you. Thank you all for being here with us tonight. Tonight, I have the distinct honor of introducing our command staff. These are the leaders Sheriff Owens has assembled to execute his plan to bring forth truth, trust, and transparency to the Sheriff's Office. They will join me on stage as I call their names. Colonel Nat Nation. Colonel Nation is the head of our field operations, overseeing our K-9 unit, the deputies who interact with you on the streets, and our special teams. You'll hear more about them later in the program. Lieutenant Colonel Ryan Mayling. Colonel Mayling is Colonel Nation's right-hand man with years of experience leading internal affairs and criminal investigations. Colonel Eric Yeager. Colonel Yeager oversees internal and external investigations involving forgery and fraud, narcotics, sales, in addition to internal investigations of the detention center. He also oversees the fugitive unit, sex offenders, domestic violence, crime scenes, and evidence. Lieutenant Colonel Cliff Kelker. Colonel Kelker is the Sheriff's Office liaison for the Marietta Cobb Smyrna Narcotics Unit, along with other responsibilities. Colonel David Galvin. Colonel Galvin leads our support services. His division is responsible for accounting and purchasing, bonding, and other administrative needs. Lieutenant Colonel Dwayne Morris. Colonel Morris is a steady hand. He's in charge of 2 audits we're working on. The sheriff will share more about those later in the program. Colonel Demetrius Atkins. Colonel Atkins is in charge of the Adult Detention Center. He is working hard to get us in shape to earn the Triple Crown rating. Lieutenant Colonel Becky Westenberger is out of town today. She's been outstanding in getting a handle on the coronavirus pandemic within the detention center. We're happy to report that we're averaging fewer than 5 positive cases at any one time. Major Braxton Cotton. Major Cotton is the Chief of Staff. His responsibilities include overseeing special projects, and he works closely with our IT and communications on key initiatives. Major Larry White. Major White is the adjutant to the sheriff. He supervises staff assignments and projects. Major Michael L. Williams. Major Williams oversees our uniform patrol deputies and commands the SWAT team. Major James Petrie. Major Petrie oversees our court complex that houses 3 court buildings and our public safety building. Major Heather Ray. Major Ray leads the Marietta Cobb Smyrna Narcotics Unit. Major Steve Gaynor. Major Gaynor leads our Community Engagement Team. Major Marvin Prince. Major Prince leads our Recruitment and Internal Affairs Division. Major Elijah Brown. Major Brown leads the North Central Georgia Law Enforcement Academy. It is a regional post academy responsible for training officers for Northeast Georgia. Major Tony Scipio. Major Scipio oversees our Reserve Deputy Unit and works with community engagement. Major Tom Hayes. Major Hayes oversees our busiest areas of the detention to include intake, bonding, and sentencing. Major Stacy Baines. Major Baines is assigned to support service at the detention center and oversees classifications, disciplinary, detention policy, and will be assisting with gaining accreditations. Major Michael A. Williams. Major Williams is tasked with overseeing the facility maintenance and vendor contracts for the detention center. Also tonight, Major David Hillsman, he's not with us tonight. He leads our criminal investigative units known as CID. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the command staff for the Cobb County Sheriff's Office. As you can see, Sheriff Owens has assembled a strong, diverse team to lead the Sheriff's Office to the future. And I'm honored to stand side by side with the Sheriff and Chief Register to lead this group. Command staff. With that, I'll turn this back over to our MC, Chris Jose.
And thank you, Deputy Chief Rhonda Anderson. Thank you to the command staff. I have to tell you, I've been around Cobb County now for a little over 4 years, and this is the first time I've seen the Sheriff's Office command staff in one place at one time with the community. So thank you all for being here this evening. Thank you, guys. And for a prayer for tonight, I want to go ahead and bring up Reverend Felix Ferrafino from Roca de Salvacion Church.
Buenas tardes a todos.
Good evening, everyone.
Y que Dios los bendiga a cada uno.
God bless all of you.
Agradezco a nuestro sheriff Carlos García
I'm very grateful to our Sheriff Craig Owens
por invitarme a esta gran reunión
for this invitation to this great event
y ser parte juntamente con ustedes.
and to be part of this event all together in this night
Y representar a nuestra comunidad hispana.
and to be able to represent our Hispanic community.
Queremos orar
I would like to pray
por todos nuestros sheriff y oficiales
for all our sheriff's deputies and our officers
que cada día enfrentan
that every day face
los peligros en nuestras calles
different dangers on our streets
para traer tranquilidad a nuestra comunidad.
to bring peace in our community.
Oramos así.
Let us pray.
Soberano Señor,
Sovereign Lord,
que en su voluntad ha elegido
that in your will has chosen
a nuestras autoridades,
our authorities,
hoy le pedimos
today we would like to ask you
por nuestro sheriff
for our sheriff,
Craig Owens,
Craig Owens.
le pedimos que lo ayude
We would like to ask you to help him
mientras lidera en su deber
while he delivered on his duties
junto con todos nuestros oficiales,
by the side of all his officers,
los cuales enfrentan los peligros
which ones they will be facing the dangers
en las calles.
in the streets.
Que usted, Señor,
You, sir,
los guarde y les ayude
please keep them safe and help them
en cada situación.
in every situation.
Le pedimos
We ask you, Lord,
también por nuestra comunidad
we pray to you, Lord, for our community as well,
para aprender a vivir
to learn to live
sabiamente,
with wisdom,
sobria,
sober,
justa
just,
y piadosamente.
and with a lot of wisdom,
Que podamos respetar
that we all are able to respect
a nuestras autoridades.
to our authorities,
Porque la palabra del Señor
because the word of God
nos dice en Romanos 13:1,
has told us in Romans 13:1,
sométase toda persona
please submit everyone
a las autoridades superiores,
to the superior authorities,
porque no hay autoridad,
because there is no authority,
porque no hay autoridad sino de parte de Dios,
because there is no authority that doesn't come from God.
y las que hay por Dios han sido establecidas.
And the ones that are from God has been established by God.
Señor,
Please, Lord,
ayúdanos
help us
a ser mejor
to be better
mañana,
tomorrow.
mejor que hoy.
Please help us, Lord, to be better tomorrow than we are today.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Lord, for the everything,
Lord, for everything
autoridades.
and for all the authorities.
Amen.
Amen.
And thank you, Reverend. You know, Sheriff, when we first talked, this was back in the fall. This is right when you made the announcement that you were running for sheriff. You ran on the campaign of truth, trust, and transparency. And you may not remember this, but during one of those early interviews, you had mentioned to me that you wanted to do a town hall style meeting, a quarterly meeting, just like this one. And here you are, 103 days, I counted, 103 days into office now and fulfilling your promise. So thank you for that. Everyone wants to hear from you tonight. Let's go ahead and bring up Sheriff Craig Owens with an update with his accomplishments so far with the office and his first 100 days in office.
Good evening. How's everyone? I tell you, it is such a pleasure to stand before you as your sheriff. I'm extremely happy that I was fortunate enough to win this election, but I'm even more happy about the things we're going to do for the Cobb County Sheriff's Office and our community going forward. And before I get started in my prepared speech, I just want to say, I know there's some county representatives here tonight, a couple of commissioners, county manager, assistant county manager, several judges. And I just want to tell you this in the beginning before I get started. Thank you. I've been in office 100 days, and everything that I've tried to ask for, any mentorship, any question I've asked, They all have been great to me. And it shows the type of working relationship we have in Cobb County. And so that is a new aspect for me, having that great working relationship. But I can tell you the commissioners at this point, all of them have been great. The county manager, as well as the Madam Chair herself, as well as our judges who we protect every day. They have been great as well. And some of those are in attendance as well. But before I get started, I just want to tell you that thank you so very much. And there are a couple of department heads in here as well, Mr. Tanks and some others I can't see through the light, but thank you for your support in my first 100 days. It takes a team. And I truly believe Cobb is on the way to being a team if we weren't before, but we definitely are on that way now. Not saying we weren't, I'm just saying if we wasn't, we're definitely on the way being one now. So thank y'all for the support that I've gathered up to this point. So let's get into it. This is why y'all here tonight, the first 100 days, right? So I promised on the campaign trail that to restore truth, trust, and transparency in the sheriff's office. And part of that plan is, as Chris stated, I want to have quarterly briefings with the community, as well as some of our elected officials, so you all can see what we're doing in the sheriff's office. What are we doing to keep Cobb County safe? What are we doing to make Cobb County Sheriff's Office not only the best sheriff's office in the state, but hopefully to be in the nation? So we're going to tell you what we've done the first 100 days. The theme for tonight is one team. As I stated, I think we're working toward that goal now with the working relationships we've established with our current board of commissioners, county managers, and other department heads and assistant county managers as well. I think we're well on the way of operating as one team. You know, each of us play a huge role in making Cobb County great. It doesn't matter what your position in the county is, everyone plays a role to making us great. So don't forget that everyone is important and everything you do is important, regardless whether you're elected official or the highest ranking officer or the lowest ranking person or the lowest ranking employee. Your contribution is extremely important for us to be successful, to make Cobb County successful as a whole. You know, I'm going to briefly walk you through things we accomplished in 100 days. And I tell you, these 100 days are going by pretty fast. You know, if I ask my wife, by the way, let me tell you, my wife is here. So let me say, hello. Because if I don't, I won't hear the end of it, but I wouldn't forget that in with my wife is here. And I tell you, for the first 100 days, she told me, you're working harder now than you were when you was at the police department. And you're coming home later than you were when you're at the police department. So when are these 100 days going to be able so you can get back home on a regular time? I said, it probably won't happen for a while. But thank you for bearing with me. And thank you for understanding. And I just have to let her know that I do love you. And thank you for doing everything for me to get me where I am at this point. All right, let's get started. 100-day plans. First slide, we want to talk about what we're doing. And it's important for y'all to know what we're doing, because what we do is a reflection of the county. I like to say, you know, the sheriff's office is a representative of everyone that walks the streets in Cobb County. So we have to do things right. We want to be professional looking, have that professional demeanor all the time, and just be the best we possibly can be. So what we started doing is this. In the my first few weeks in office, first 100 days, I have attended over 16 community engagement events throughout the county. Probably had to turn down 10 more because I couldn't make it because I was double booked. But I've been trying to attend every engagement that I possibly can that's feasible to get out into the communities and let them know about the sheriff's office and let them know about their new sheriff. And I think that's important for that community engagement, and specifically coming from the chief law enforcement executive of the county. I also had opportunity to meet pretty much all the police chiefs in the cities, and as well as the county chief police. And we're building a great working relationship. I'm hoping to say that, I hope I'm saying this not out of turn, but I think we're going to have a great working relationship, not only now, but going forward, because I think that teamwork is what we're building now so we can be successful. A little later in the program, I want to talk about what we're going to, but Chief Retcher will come up and tell you about our hiring efforts and what we've done so far to make Cobb County a great place to work. And we're going to talk more in depth, he will, about that. But for you all that's online here and some of you here that's looking for employment, Cobb County Sheriff's Office is hiring. Please go to our website at cobbsheriff.org and please come be a part of a winning team. So we have 2 audits in the way. It was kind of briefly mentioned by the chief deputy. One of those audits is for our budgetary audit. We have an outside firm actually performing the audit now. It is close to being completed. From my latest report, which we received today, currently we have not found any major issues. There's some minor things, but nothing major. So there's great news, but we still have a little ways to go, about 2 weeks before they finish the complete audit on our finances for the sheriff's office. So currently we're going on the right track and everything appears to be okay. Our second audit, just in case you want, is regarding our detention center. If you know, as I running for office, majority, the focus was on the detention center due to the unfortunate deaths we had in our facility. So we have an outside agent, which is for a bunch of attorneys, or a lot of attorneys in here, which are a group of attorneys who will be doing that audit. They were supposed to start last month, but due to COVID and some issues with their staff, they had to push it back to the latter part of this month. But that audit will take place within the next 30 days. And then when those results are released, I would definitely share those to you all. And the reason I think that is important is because of the issues we had in the past with our detention center. So we want to find out what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong so we can fix it, so we can go forth and be the best sheriff's office in the state of Georgia. Lastly, I want to highlight our technology. You know, we're investing in some smart technology at Sheriff's Office, which I think is very important for us to stay above this industry standard. And so we're investing in technology, and then also I will share more of that a little later in the program as well. So next slide, we're going to talk about our COVID-19, which is the big thing, our pandemic, which not only shook Cobb County as a whole, but it shook our whole nation. But what are we doing here for this in Cobb County Sheriff's Office? You know, we're working hard with the Community Health Department to provide vaccinations for the Sheriff Department, as not only our employees, but only for our detainees/inmates. We're preparing information so those we know who have court appearances coming up in the month of April and May, making sure we're getting those individuals vaccinated so they won't be carry a virus into the court system. So we're doing that as well. We're doing everything we can to make sure we keep everyone safe in that aspect. And everyone that wants to be vaccinated can receive the vaccination at our facility. So I think that's a great thing. We were one of the first, just to back up a little so you know, Sheriff's Office in the Metro Atlanta area provide rapid testing. So when the cities or the county PD brought in our personnel that was being in custody, we gave a rapid test and immediately within 15 to 20 minutes got results back whether or not they was positive. That we had kept the virus down within our facility. As of today, we have one positive reading in our facility, and which is, I think, is a great number. That's a very low number right now. So I think we're doing very well in that. Our next slide we'll talk about is about our change management. That is something that's very important, you know, to change the culture of our organization. Management changes as well. You know, people don't always agree with management changes, right? Sometimes it can be a welcome addition, but sometimes people meet it with a lot of aggression. But thank goodness the officers and executives, of course, the ones I brought in, was open arms to my suggestions and how we're going to change to make this office the best in the state, if not the nation. So what have we done with that change management? You know, we restructured some of the departments that we had coexisting in the Sheriff's Office, created open door policy that we didn't have before in some places. You know, we made sure our pay parity was equal to our employees. You know, we instituted a duty to intervene policy. We came up with a new promotional policy that we thought would be more fair and equitable for every employee that's competing for promotion. We brought to for retirement ceremonies where something was not being held at the Sheriff's Office. You know, we looked at our safety training for our judges. Some of the judges are here that they know now we have reinstituted training for them. What happened when they have a major incident in their courtroom under the building, what we would do, what they should be doing, etc. You know, we brought back a conduct review board for officers who conduct are improper and beyond our scope of our policies and procedures. Also, part of that new technology we're bringing, which we don't have currently on a stable platform, is our body cams and car videos. We currently don't have any car camera videos. So I think that was totally wrong. So we looked at that and we're going to bring that up. We're going to change that and we're going to have car cameras in our vehicles. So if our deputies make traffic stops, it'll be recorded. And we're also going to a new body cam system, which I like to say is the state of the art, which you'll see more about when Chief Fresher is playing through technology, what we're going to and how that's not only going to help our deputies be safe, it's also going to help our communities. And what this program we're bringing is going to help our communities whole regarding our data that we can provide to our community when asked. We also strengthen our relationships, I spoke earlier, with our local police departments, have great conversation with most of the chiefs within the cities of Cobb County. And I think that is a great benefit. I think for us to be one team here, we all got to communicate. So we open those lines of communications with the fellow chiefs. They all have been very receptive. And I think we're working toward making something great here in Cobb County. Next slide. So we're going into this great thing of the detention center. The detention center, I hold my head down because, this is our biggest area. We have the most issues. This is one of my main priorities. This is my main priority. I would be naive to stand up here and tell you that we may never, ever have a incident where someone may not survive an incident in a facility, or someone may die of might be a natural cause, whatever. But what I can tell you this, and what I can promise you is this: the Cobb County Sheriff's Office will have every standard and policy in place to prevent any of those actions, and we would adhere to those policy and procedures. We'll provide the best health and mental health care to detainees in our facility while they're in our custody, care, and control. And we'll make sure we have the most latest and greatest technology to prevent those things from happening. So we can do everything we can humanly possible to take care of anyone that comes through those doors at Cobb County Detention Center. I think we owe that to every citizen that comes through there. We do, and we will do that going forward. And without a doubt, that was my main focus during the election. So as now, I promoted Colonel Atkins. He is a new jail commander. His hands is full, I admit it. But he is a great young colonel. He can handle it. He's already made some great changes there, procedures and policies, and some new technologies that, again, to be spoke about later, that's going to improve our jail overall in regard to how we deal with our inmates and how we treat them going forward. And one area in regard to our jailers I'm really proud of, I was able to make an official request as I took office to have the GBI come in and investigate any deaths in our facility. I did not think it was right for us to investigate ourselves and give people the idea that we're home cooking things and we're covering things for ourselves. So I thought the appropriate thing to do to have an outside agency come in, someone who does not have any really stock in us, what we do, who can give you a non-biased opinion and going to be honest. And so we asked the GBI to do that. So if we have going forward, any deaths that may occur in our facility, it'll be investigated by the GBI to make sure that everything was done appropriately. Look, it's just, I think it's the right thing to do. Some sheriffs didn't like it because they didn't agree with my concept of doing it. They thought we should continue our own investigations. But again, I thought it was the right thing to do. So we have nothing. So people say we're trying to cover up anything or hide anything. So it's just the right thing to do. I understand, a lot of our state reps and senators have even asked for bills to be passed that every sheriff's office will have to be investigated if there's a death by the GBI. So we was ahead of the curve on that. We wanted to make it mandatory that GBI come and investigate it. So we kind of led their trend on that, for lack of better terms. The next slide, we're going to talk a little bit about our community engagement. This is something when I came into the office, it was called community outreach. I was fortunate enough to do a deep dive into that when I first got here, and I didn't like the outreach title. I wanted us to go out here and engage our community. I want us to talk to them, have face-to-face conversation, of course, within the COVID restrictions and the CDC guidelines, of course. But I want us to make sure we have that interaction with our community. I didn't like the outreach. I wanted to engage was a more word I like to use. And so I charged these individuals to be more engaging with our community. So under the direction of Chief Registrar, we have restructured that unit and again, changed the name to Community Engagement Unit Division. These individuals assigned this unit. They're assigned to the districts of the commissioners. It's something similar to the police department have, but I think ours is a little different, meaning we have some other tasks that we are assigned to do, but we're there. If the commissioner need help, please call us and we'll definitely take care of it as well. So we're adding additional things there, giving you additional resources in your districts for assistance. But we're going to hit these communities hard, make sure our community know what the sheriff's office do, that we can help them. We're willing to be here for them, and that we are 100% in for our community engagement. And I like to first acknowledge my community engagement team. I think some of them are here tonight. If y'all are inside, y'all stand up. They're all outside with the car. Oh, they're in the back. So most of them out the back giving out goodies as you walk in. And I see Carlos Garcia here. Mr. Bob Haley is here as well. But these men and women are doing an excellent job for us. They also speak at public events for us. We're giving out food every Thursday. Mr. Hanks is helping his division out, passing out food to the needy as needed. We're doing a lot of good things in the community. We've heard since I've been in office in less than 100 days, I haven't seen this many sheriff's guys out in 20 years. And I had to think about it, really. So Mr. Tanks called me and said, hey, can you help me out on a Saturday? I need some traffic problem. I said, hey, really, man, 30 minutes? Yeah, he called me 30 minutes before he needed help. I said, you know what, we got it. So it's those relationships we're building in the sheriff's office that we may didn't have before that we have built now. And they know if they got some issues or problems, they can call the sheriff, and the sheriff is going to do everything he can to help them. So that's the type of relationship. Just an example of what we're doing, you know. And again, I know most of my community engagement guys are outside, but please give those young men and women a round of applause. And I just want to speak briefly on this. Mr. Carlos Garcia, he was interpreting the prayer this evening. I hired Carlos as our Spanish liaison for our community engagement unit. And he has been doing an outstanding job. He's also working on putting our Facebook page completely in Spanish. And also he has helped us open the communication lines between us and the Hispanic community even more than what it was. So now we actually have communications, and it's valuable communications. They're telling us what's going on in the community. They're telling us when time the crimes are occurring, and they're telling us what they need, and we can respond. So I think that's a great thing. And Carlos, thank you for leading that effort. You know, and as a result of our, collaboration with the Hispanic leaders, and again, they have begun to come and report crimes, which is something they did not do before. So I am so grateful now that we're able to give some individuals help that need help in some of these areas where they were afraid to. And why were they afraid? It was because of 287G. I took a stance that some people consider to be unpopular, but I consider to be the right thing to do. So I entered the program which bridged that gap between us and the Latino community. The heat I get from that is that Cobb will be a less safe county, that Cobb is a sanctuary county, that criminals can run free in Cobb County. So let me be the first to tell you, if you didn't understand it, I'll make sure you understand it before you walk out tonight. You break the law in Cobb County, you're going to jail. Period. And I can guarantee you, thank you, that our judges are not going to let you walk out. And you're sure not walking out of my jail. If you violate the law, you go to jail. Period. Cobb is not a sanctuary county. Cobb does not allow criminals to walk free and break the law without any repercussions. Never have, never will. At least not under this watch. So don't let them tell you and scare you on that tactic, because it's not true. Cobb will arrest anyone who violated the law, and we will hold them until a judge tells us to let them go. Point blank. So please don't believe that you can walk in and anyone who's illegal can come in here and violate the law in Cobb County, no repercussions for your actions. Tell them to come here and do it and see what happens. On that same note, we also started an accountability committee. And I think it's important for us to have that accountability committee in our agency to making sure we're doing things right. So we started that as well. We also have a bipartisan citizen group who will be advising me throughout my first year in office on things, what they see going on in the community, and also what they see in the office that we can do better for not only for the sheriff's office, but for the community, so we can be a better organization going forward. So those are things we're looking for on that aspect. We're going to go into our next slide about community groups. Meeting with the community is very important. Very important. I took that as another priority of mine to make sure I get out in the community. People know who the sheriff is. And I say this, and people say, are you truthful? I say, I absolutely am. I met one of the employees, and because I walk around, I got to sit behind the desk. I get out and walk and see and talk and see how they're doing their job. And in the warehouse, didn't know the sheriff department have a warehouse, right? So we do. We have our own warehouse. Walked out to the warehouse, and a young man said, hey, Sheriff, after I gave him some suggestions about putting equipment in here and forklift driving, he stopped me in the way as a sheriff, but I won't tell you thank you for coming by. I said, well, why? I mean, that's my job. He said, no, I've been here 15 years. It's the first time I've seen the sheriff. I said, really? He said, yes. So what I say that to say this, how we were in the past, we'll never be that way again. Never. And I tell everyone I got elected, I got two main priorities. One is taking care of the citizens of Cobb County, and two is taking care of my employees and their family. And those are things I look forward to doing every day. So we'll never be the way we were. We're going forward to become the best sheriff's office, not only in the state of Georgia, but in the nation. As you saw some of the slides, we have some of the community groups that I've met over the first 100 days. These are some photos of things, events that I've attended. I thought this would be a good way to y'all see that your sheriff is working. He's not sitting in the office and hiding behind the walls. I am out getting out, engaging our community, talking to business leaders, talking to Cobb Chamber of Commerce, talking to our commissioners, to our county manager, which I talked to her this Thursday, by the way. I think she's here somewhere. And I'm engaging, and I'm staying that way for a reason, because I think it's the right thing to do. Your next slide of photos, that may be the last one. Your next slide. Right. Now, before I get in this slide here, I just want to let you know, when I walked in the office, it's been in the same leadership for over 40 plus years. And some people were expecting me to fix things overnight. It didn't get broke overnight, so I can't fix it overnight. So I ask that you be a little patient as we make changes and try to get us to where we should be, because nothing is done that quickly. It took 40 years to break it, so I can't fix it in one day. But we're going to do everything we possibly can to get us where we need to be successful. And we're going to work extremely hard to get there. I guarantee you that. We're going to work extremely hard. So with that being said, we're going to talk about our new technology presentation. Now at this stage, I want to bring up my new partnership sheriff's office. As you know, I made transparency a priority. You know, I've shared earlier that we made tremendous investments with our new body camera and camera technology. Axon, which is a company we're going to be purchasing this equipment, is here this evening. And we're going to have them come up and make a few words about this technology we're bringing on board for Cobb Sheriff's Office. And I think you're going to just get a great understanding from from the partners from Axon and what they're bringing from us going forward. So Jennifer and your team will please come up to the stage.
Your officers need a body cam that can do more than just record evidence. With the Axon Body 3, they'll have one that delivers superior performance and helps keep everyone safe in real time. Here's what's great about the Body 3. Superior imaging and sound with enhanced low-light performance and reduced motion blur. The camera's advanced audio algorithms isolate on the most important sounds. The result? You capture better evidence in the field. Advanced performance, including features like rapid recharge, easy device management, and an LCD display screen to give officers important info without distraction. And the real game changer? Axon Respond for Devices, a real-time situational awareness platform. Respond provides officers and supervisors features like real-time officer location, instant alerts for use of force and escalation, and live streaming for critical situations. Picture this. An officer is on a call that escalates. She draws her taser device, which activates her Body 3 and alerts her supervisor through Axon Respond. Her supervisor pulls up her exact location and monitors the camera's live stream while sending backup to help. The officers resolve the situation without requiring additional resources and without anyone being hurt. Everyone gets home safe. Superior imaging and sound, advanced performance, Axon Respond for devices. Check out Axon Body 3 today.
Good evening. I want to first thank Sheriff Owens, Chief Deputy Anderson, Chief Register, Ms. Sharon, and Ms. Keisha for having us here. My name is Regina Holloway, and I am the VP of Community Impact at Axon. Axon, as you just saw, is the maker of body-worn cameras, tasers, and other technology for public safety. We're here to tell you a little bit about our services. And I say services, but everything that we offer is without cost. Erica and I, and I'll allow her to introduce herself in a second, say that we're in the business of people. But we're here because this technology is important, now possibly more than ever. My department started just a few months ago in July. Axon realized that yes, law enforcement is our customer, but community is also our customer. And so our job is really to build bridges between public safety and law enforcement and the communities that they serve. And we do that in a few ways. The first way is data. Sheriff Owens said, trust, truth, trust, and transparency. That really resonated with Eric and I. Truth, trust, and transparency. So I'll stop there for a second and give you a little bit background. I'm sorry this is a little disjointed. I'm trying to collect my thoughts because I was really moved by that. Truth, trust, and transparency. Our bios, which we decided at first to leave out, I think that we should tell you a little bit about how we came to Axon prior. We're both lawyers by trade. We both met in civilian oversight. We come from the city of Chicago, where, as Sheriff Owens mentioned, the Chicago Police Department is not able to investigate allegations of misconduct. I supervised the major case squad there where I handled officer-involved shootings. So truth, trust, and transparency has been the core of our work professionally and the core of what we believe personally. So back to data. One of the synergies that Sheriff Owens and myself found, and Erica, is his deep care of the beloved community, of which law enforcement is a part of, right? It's connecting the community to law enforcement. We are all part of this community. And so what data can help Sheriff Owens do is the robust community engagement that he has planned. He can now have data, which means your voice. He can survey you anonymously and say, what is it that you want to see? What's important to you? What am I doing right? What am I not doing right? Likewise, he can use data services to find out from his command staff, what do you need? What are you not getting? What can help you do your job better? How can you connect? How can you connect to your communities? And so this is a service that, again, is without cost, that we are really excited to be able to share with the Sheriff's Office, but also with the community. And I'll have Erica Sangster introduce herself and talk a little bit about our other offerings.
Thank you, Regina. And thank you, people of Cobb County, for having us out here. As Regina mentioned, we were really touched by what Sheriff Owens said, there you are, about transparency. Essentially, yes, we make technology at Axon, but we do more than that. What we do is provide a vessel for the community to see inside of something that has been so, such a sacrosanct institution for so long. For so long, the community members have been kept out of what is happening in law enforcement, what is happening in interactions, daily interactions with community members, what is happening in the detention centers, what is happening in courtrooms. And so what Axon is bringing is not only just the technology to the Sheriff's Office, but it's the ability for the community members to see inside those walls that may have been closed for a very long time. What we're offering to the community that kind of goes in line with the idea of transparency and accountability is trainings for the community. Something that is in addition to this technology. Yes, the technology is great and it's cool and it's fun, but what does it mean to people? What does it mean to an average citizen when we see a body cam all over the news, which we've all seen this week? This is timely, if not, right now more than ever. How do we know what we're looking at? How do we know the capabilities of this technology? The same things can be said of our tasers. We are the sole creator of the taser. Now more than ever, people are asking, what is a taser? What does it do? What does it feel like? What does it look like? That is what we're here to also offer the members of the community, to, again, strengthen that bond that the Sheriff's Office has with the community, but also to allow the community to look inside to see what it is that the sheriff's office is doing and other law enforcement bodies. We're also offering services for youth, because we also recognize that youth is paramount in making sure that we have a future as we go on. So I really appreciate you all listening to us. I really appreciate Sheriff Owens and the folks of Cobb County having us out here. We're here as a resource, and we're really, really thankful that you had us. And I did want to say one last thing. We've met with Sheriff Owens a couple of times and spoken to him a few times. And I can tell you with all honesty and truthfulness, when he says he cares about this community, he means it. He means it. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. We flew here from Chicago today to be here for this meeting. So it's important to him, which is why it's important to us. And I hope it's important to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I thought y'all came last night. All right. I got some special treatment for y'all getting in today, right? Well, thank you so very much. I really appreciate it. Now, I think I'm going to get out of turn here. I think it's time for Chief Rex to come up and talk. Or is it is our presentation first? Where's my lead sob at on this? Okay. All right. I want to make sure. All right. So before the chief come up, two things I've done that I'm extremely proud of. I think I made the right choice in selecting Chief Ron Anderson to be my chief deputy. And I'm also proud, I think I made another excellent choice in luring Michael Register back from Florida back to Cobb County. As I had an interview a week or two ago with the MDJ, and I told him I think I hit a home run with both of them, and I truly do. So with that being said, thank you both for accepting to work with me and helping us to become the best sheriff's office in the state of Georgia, not the nation, as well as thanking the entire command staff as well for your help and helping us get there. So with that being said, I'd like to have Chief Register come to the stage, and he'll go with some technology and things we have on the horizon.
What an honor to be here with everyone, the community members and the distinguished guests in the audience, and also our community members and distinguished guests that are watching this online. I know we've said it a couple of times, so let me say it again. We really appreciate and thank you for caring enough about this journey and what we're doing, and caring enough about your community to be here and to assist in that journey. So thank you. And I also want to just reiterate the tremendous work that Sheriff Owens and Chief Deputy Anderson and every man and woman in the Cobb County Sheriff's Office has done in this first 100 days. Well, 103, according to Chris Jose. And he's an honest guy, I believe him. So, I mean, when you look at what has happened and transpired, it's just mind-boggling. It really, really is. And so let's just stop right now and give them all a big hand. And you know, Sheriff Owens didn't have to lure me back. I was very excited. Some of you may know I was the past chief of police in Cobb County and the Department of Public Safety director. But man, I got to tell you how honored I am to stand here tonight and be a part of the Cobb County Sheriff's Office and work beside Sheriff Owens, Chief Deputy Anderson, and every man and woman in the department. And not only that, when we talk about a journey, just being part of this transformation, because that's what's happening at the Cobb County Sheriff's Office. It's a transformation. It's truly changing, and it's so exciting to see that change right before I know my eyes. And so we've talked a lot about what has happened, but you got to be excited about what's going to continue to happen and the journey, how it continues. And so let's get into the first slide. And let's talk about recruitment. How important is recruitment? It all begins there. And that is one of the priorities of Sheriff Owens, is to recruit. Now, you know, when you look across the nation, the events that transpire that has hurt recruitment efforts in law enforcement. But I'm here to tell you, law enforcement needs good men and women. The sheriff understands that. We need good men and women who want to come and make a difference. And you can make a difference in law enforcement today. And, you know, our numbers of empty slots is slowly ticking down because of those efforts. I think, I wasn't here yesterday for the weekly meeting, but the meeting before that, we had 217 people in the pipeline who wants to come and be a member of this department. Man, how great that is. Now, because we have open slots, that doesn't mean that we're going to sacrifice quality for quantity. That's another priority from Sheriff Owens. He wants good men and women who want to come here and can give the needed commitment and dedication to the community that he requires and that he demands. Now, when you came in, you probably saw the recruiting SUV out there. We've got a couple of them, and you saw them on the video here. And that is a rolling billboard that tells you, as the sheriff said, if you're looking for a job and if you're looking for a place, this is it. Make your career in law enforcement here. And you'll see these vehicles not only in the county, but outside the county, going to recruiting events because we truly, truly want to recruit the best. So we tie the recruiting into the other programs we do. And we want young people to get excited about law enforcement again. So we're heavily recruiting in the colleges. And I'll talk about a program that deals with young people from the ages of 14 to 21 a little later on. But you may already know that Sheriff Owens is a veteran. He retired as a command sergeant major, the highest rank you can make as an NCO. I spent 23 years in the military myself, so he and I both know the importance of showing our veterans respect. They went out and sacrificed for this country. And for all the veterans that are sitting here tonight or viewing from home, thank you for your service. Sheriff wants every veteran, let's give them a hand to all the veterans. The sheriff wants every veteran to know that, hey, when you close out chapter 1 in your life, he's waiting to give you chapter 2. He is waiting for you to bring that experience and that commitment here to the Cobb County Sheriff's Office, and he's got a home for you, and Cobb County's got a home for you. So please, if you're a veteran, look at our website and give it some thought. Another program, next slide. Our internship program. We talk about young people and how important they are, not just to come and work, but we have an internship program for young people in college, undergraduate and masters. We want to bring them in. We want to get them excited about law enforcement. We want to let them realize that, hey, you can make a difference by serving your community. But more so than that, we bring these young people in and they help us understand the world around us that we're operating in now. They help us build not only the sheriff's department of today, but because of their youth and their knowledge, they help us build the sheriff's office of tomorrow. What does law enforcement look like today? But more so than that, they help us understand what law enforcement should look like tomorrow. And so we're very happy with that program. Next slide. This is just one of our vehicles. And, you know, the sheriff has made a conscientious effort to invest in technology and resources because the men and women who work at the sheriff's office needs the equipment to go out and do their job. They need the resources to go out and do their job. And we want them to do it in the safest and most effective and efficient manner possible. When you look at the new K9 vehicle that's coming in, the K9s right now, the vehicles that they are currently using are light years behind this new K9 vehicle. This gives the K9 the ability to be in a more relaxed atmosphere, which helps the K9 psychologically. It also is a service platform that has technology in it that helps the K9 handler be able to control the K9 in a more effective manner. And we have some other cars that I want to talk about that's in the fleet, but we'll save that. One of them specifically is our new FAST SUVs that came in, and I'll explain to you in a few minutes what FAST stands for. It's a new unit, but we'll go to the next slide. Unfortunately, I grant you that there are people in the audience tonight that have had to deal with this insidious illness, breast cancer, or just cancer in general. You've either been a victim of it, or you've been a friend or family member that's had to give someone else support when they were going through that trying time. Even our Chief Deputy Anderson, she's already told you that she is a cancer survivor. Man, what tenacity and what a fighter. So why would we put a vehicle in the field? Is it in remembrance of the fight that Chief Anderson had with this illness? Yeah, but more so than that, we want every man and woman that's going through and having a battle, a form of cancer, specifically breast cancer, that we're there for you. We are in the fight with you, and we're going to stay in the fight with you until we defeat that enemy. And when you see this vehicle, not only does it make you remember that we're behind these people, but also it should spur you to remember the people that are going through this and possibly donate some time, money, and effort to help defeat that illness. Next slide. Some of our public safety announcements, and I'm going to save fast for last, but a bike patrol. We instituted a bike patrol. You know, when you look at the relationship between the community and police officers and the deputies, one thing always comes to mind when you're having these community discussions, that we like to see you out more. And it's hard to do that when you're in a car and you're driving around, you got a door between you and the community, you got a rolled up window between you and the community. And so it really enhances our engagement with the community for us to get out and to be able to talk, to be able to meet the community face to face. But also, while we're doing that, we're attempting to make, not only are we trying to bolster the partnerships with the community and the sheriff's office, but we're also being visible. We're using a bike patrol in some of the high density event areas, like the Battery, Marietta Square, other events. And if there are areas that there's been complaints of crime, we can get the bike patrol in there, and they can get in places and make contacts that in a vehicle you really couldn't do that. It would be unrealistic. And on top of that, there's places in Cobb County that our citizens like to go and relax, like the Silver Comet Trail. You'll see the Cobb County Sheriff's Office on bikes down there, and hopefully that'll give you a safer feeling. Know that, hey, we are trying to be out there, we're trying to make you safe, and we're trying to engage all at the same time. Mounted patrol, that's a pretty unique thing. When you look in the state of Georgia right now, in major departments, I think you have Savannah and I think you have the city of Atlanta that have a mounted patrol. And when I say mounted patrol, I mean a horse patrol. And Sheriff Owens is wanting to bring that to Cobb County to enhance our community engagement and to use the mounted patrol in community events. And when you try to investigate a mounted patrol and the worth of a mounted patrol, and you look at what the citizens are saying in those two major cities, Savannah and Atlanta, they love it. And I think it will be a good thing, and it's an initiative that we're all excited about and can't wait till it comes to fruition. The FAST team, Fugitive Apprehension Support Team for High-Risk Warrants. Well, it's more than that. It's a team that we're putting together, built on an old concept, but we've got a new concept in how it will operate going forward. It really is a overall support mechanism team for the Cobb County Sheriff's Office with tactical capabilities. We're going to have 2 squads right now because of manpower shortages that we're dealing with in, I think, a very positive way. We've got 1 squad that's going to be ready to go this month in April, and they'll be out and about in their new fast vehicle. If we have a picture of it, I don't know. And they'll be working hours that's dictated. They will vary. They'll work when needed, and they'll support when needed. And it's not just serving, high threat warrants. And they have the tactical expertise to do that, because when you're dealing with dangerous suspects and you're trying to serve a warrant or apprehend a dangerous suspect, there takes a lot of knowledge to do that. And that knowledge helps them stay safe. It helps the suspect be taken into custody in a safe manner, and it protects the citizens and the community members that are around that apprehension. But more so than that, if there's a complaint area that is law enforcement related, we can use that FAST team to go out and augment what other law enforcement agencies are doing, and we can address that complaint area. So we're real proud of that initiative, and hopefully by the end of the year, we'll have the 2nd squad stood up, and it will give more visibility, and I think will help the community have a safer environment. Next slide. Smart technology. And I brought the notes up here because there's a lot of stuff going on with technology. We've already talked about the cameras. And when you think about body cameras, you think about patrol officers, right, on the street. But we're taking it a step farther. We're going to have those body cameras in the jail. And so when we have our detainees or individuals that are detained, we'll have our deputies in the jail wearing body cameras. And so we'll have that transparency there. The camera system that we are looking at, Axon, is very sophisticated. And I know the 2 young ladies flew down from Chicago and gave you some information, but man, what an extraordinary system. It has features on it that are pretty sophisticated, like when an officer draws his sidearm or the weapon leaves the holster, the camera system comes on. There's analytics with the system that can help us decipher what really is going on or put in context what happened. And that's the thing with body cameras. When we talk about community engagement and we have these discussions, the community wants us to be transparent. But, there's a pathway to that transparency. It starts with communication. We've got to talk. Hence, that's why we're here tonight, and you'll have a Q&A with the sheriff and other members of the staff, and hopefully we can answer your questions. But if we're not communicating, we're wrong. So the first step, we've got to communicate with each other. That communication leads us to understanding. That understanding then leads us to trust. And then that trust then leads us to mutual respect, because we've got to have that trust before we can have that mutual respect. And all that culminates into having a very transparent sheriff's office and having mechanisms in place where we can have continuous dialogue. Another technology that I think is very innovative and is groundbreaking is something called an automated injury detection system. Automated injury detection system. It's a system that the deputy will wear under his ballistic vest. And what's extraordinary about this is that the added protection and safety precautions that it affords the deputy. For instance, with that system on, if the deputy is shot or stabbed and goes horizontal, or even if the deputy does not go horizontal, but just shot and stabbed, that system's technology will alert radio. not only that this has transpired, but it will also alert radio to the exact location of that deputy. So we can start to send units. Now think about when you layer that type of technology with what the sophistication of the camera system is. We think a deputy's been seriously injured or incapacitated and there's no communication. Well, we have live camera feeds that we can turn on then and try to get some context of what's happening and hopefully save a law enforcement person's life. Next slide. And there's many more technology initiatives that I can talk about, but we'll leave it there. We talk about some other key initiatives. Training is so very important. We can hire the right person, but we've also got to give that person the right training. And Sheriff Owens is committed to having the most quality training that he can possibly have. We're right now assessing our training, the makeup of training, how we teach things, what are we teaching to make sure that as the operational environment changes, that our training protocols change. When laws change, it's inserted into our training modules because he wants the best training given to the person who got there yesterday and they're just starting mandate all the way up to himself, and he holds himself accountable. And when you talk about leadership, another priority of his is to make sure that his command staff and his executive staff have continuous professional training so we can truly have the knowledge and competence and the professionalism needed to lead one of the largest sheriff's offices in the state of Georgia. We also have some programs that are internal, that augments the training and augments the other professional development that he is wanting to implement or is implementing. One is a peer program, peer counseling. You know, police officers, deputies, everybody in public safety, they see a lot in the line of duty, and they're just like any other human. You know, when you talk about the health, you're not just talking about physical health, but you're talking about emotional health, psychological health. And sometimes deputies are exposed to different things and they need help to get through that, or at least they need someone to talk to. And so he's starting a peer counseling so he can administer that help as needed, when needed, to members of the Cobb County Sheriff's Office and to other agencies if needed. Another program, it segues right back into training, is a mentorship program. You know, you're a new sergeant. How do you learn to be a sergeant? We can send you to school, but nothing takes the place of experience. And so taking a new deputy or a new sergeant and putting that new sergeant with an experienced sergeant and having a sequential formalized program where that experienced sergeant helps that new sergeant or that new lieutenant or whatever the rank may be get the confidence and the knowledge they need to truly know what it takes to be that rank and to be able to perform the responsibilities that's dictated by that rank. We talk about the vaccination rollout. That's another initiative. As the court system opens up because of the COVID restrictions being reduced, that means that trials are going to take place, that more inmates are going to be going to the court system. We're making sure that those inmates are vaccinated because they're going into a public setting, and we want to make sure that the judges and the personnel involved in the legal process are safe, the citizens that are in the courtroom are safe, but we also want to make sure that man or woman who is going to court is also safe too. Next slide. There's been a lot of talk about evictions. And you see the number 1,800. It's closer to 2,000. And unfortunately, that is one of the missions of the sheriff's office, is to go out when there is an eviction to serve that writ of eviction. The deputy goes out after they have determined that the writ of eviction is valid. They go out and they ensure that if there's occupants in the dwelling, that there's an orderly transition from being in a dwelling to being out, and the whole eviction process runs in a very peaceful and professional manner. But you know, that's what the mission of the sheriff's office is. But you know, Sheriff Owens wants to take it a step further. It's very unpleasant to go out and evict someone. The deputies that do it, I can tell you, they take no pleasure in doing that. We're all humans, and everyone loses their way. And the sheriff understands that. So the sheriff and the magistrate are working with 5 nonprofit organizations that can hopefully assist with rental, helping people pay their rent, get caught up so the eviction doesn't have to take place. But also, more than that, he takes it a step farther. If the person has to be evicted, we're not just talking about a person. Many times we're talking about a family. We're talking about a family with children. He has worked very hard and diligently to gain relationships with organizations that can help that family that is being displaced because of an eviction. And that shows he cares. That shows the sheriff's department cares, because we're all human. We all have a job to do. And unfortunately, sometimes serving those eviction notices is something that we have to do, but we also want to help that person or that family as much as we possibly can. We're all in this together. What is it? One team, one fight, one community. And I think that the initiatives of trying to not only look at the evictions, but help people get their rent paid and help them being placed if they are evicted, I think shows that he truly espouses that one fight, that one team, one fight, one community. Next slide. Public safety classes. Not only do we want to partner with the community, but we want to educate the community. We educate you so you won't become a victim of a crime. We want to educate you so if you do believe that there's illicit activity and you're being targeted, you understand what's happening and you can call law enforcement and we can respond. You know, some of the things is self-defense, women's self-defense. It's very popular. Gun safety. You know, when you look in Georgia, I think we are a state that knows what the Second Amendment means. There's weapon in houses and homes, but we want people to take the responsibility and understand how to keep those weapons in the home in the safest manner possible. Fraud and elder education, which the elders are a primary target for some of the fraud and the scams that are going on. We want to work diligently with the senior centers to go out and give that training. Also, emergency preparedness. What do you do if this happens? What do you do if that happens? And so as the weeks go by and the months go by, we'll be adding more and more community-oriented public safety classes, and please stay tuned for that. Next slide. Explorer program. This is one of the programs that I was telling you about. The sheriff wants to implement a Explorer program for children 14 to 21. And when I say children, we're talking about young people, 14 to 21, that we can bring them in. An Explorer program attempts to teach them about law enforcement, but it teaches them about leadership, and it teaches them how to be responsible and positive citizens. And the hope is that, again, we can light the fire that will burn in that young person to understand the benefit of law enforcement and how they can take this job and this profession and truly impact the community that they live in. And with that being said, we could talk about that just scratches the surface of what's coming. And hopefully when we have our next event, we'll talk about this and we'll talk about the 2,000 other things that we're trying to do right now. But without further ado, I'd like to bring Sheriff Owens back up, and I think he's got a special presentation that he wants to make. Sheriff Owens.
Well, actually, we had a change of script here. Chief Deputy Anderson is going to make this special presentation. So I'm going to turn it over to her to make this presentation.
The sheriff has really had our community engagement team out there working, been involved in the community. We are partnering with our Cobb County school system. So we had our K-9 unit, we had a competition amongst the Cobb County elementary schools to name one of our new K-9s that will be here in the next week or so.
He's already here.
He's already here. He may.
Training.
Okay. All right. Well, the competition was to name this new K-9, and Compton Elementary School was the winner. So y'all please come to the stage, a representative from Compton Elementary. Oh, here we go. Compton named our new bomb dog, and the name that was chosen was Boomer. So Boomer is our new K-9, and I'd like to present this to Compton Elementary School. Thank you very much. I think we have our new K-9 may be in the wings here. Yeah, y'all stay up there.
I think you're going to get a chance to meet him.
Here is.
Now, can y'all hear me? So this is not Boomer. Boomer is in training. He's been picked up and him is handling training. But I want to introduce you to our other newest K-9. This is Hammer. Hammer will be a bomb explosive dog, and we've just purchased two. Hammer and Boomer, our two newest K-9s we just purchased. So I wanted to see y'all, let y'all see our new dogs.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we appreciate the partnership that we have with the Cobb County school system.
All right, you guys still hanging in there? All right. Hey, just so real quick, I'm not sure if we got any questions yet, but please, if you haven't yet, you can email that to media@cobbsheriff.org. If there are questions, please pass it on to me. If not, I'm the reporter here, so I got plenty of questions to ask. And real quick, for the folks who are watching live right now on YouTube and also on Facebook, I just want to give you guys a heads up. I think there have been a few comments that came in online. Everyone inside the auditorium that I can see is socially distant and wearing a mask. Although I am standing on a stage, but from what it looks like, everyone following CDC guidelines. So I just want to throw that out there. With that said, if we don't have any questions yet, if we can bring back up Sheriff Owens, Chief Register, and Chief Anderson, I got some questions for you. And if those questions do come in, please give me a heads up and I'll make sure to ask them. And if anyone in the audience has a question, please, if you have those index cards, pass it on to me. But first question I have, and this is an open question for all three of you. Of course, in the headlines right now is what's happening in Minnesota. We have the Chauvin trial going on, and we also have the unfortunate circumstance that took place in a Minneapolis suburb. Sheriff, let's go to you with that question. You're the Chief Executive Law Enforcement Officer of Cobb County. Your thoughts about what took place with this controversial police shooting outside of Minneapolis?
Yeah, the incident is very tragic, so unfortunate that it even occurred. But what we're here doing in Cobb County is, so you know, we're on a call now every other day with the Major Sheriff's Association, looking at issues that's happening around the United States and seeing what we can do to make policing a lot better and much safer. So we're continuously doing that every day. Today we had a 1 o'clock call with the major sheriffs across the United States of America regarding this particular issue as well. And it's also regarding the potential issue of violence coming to our city because of the current trial going on in Minnesota as well. So we're continuously monitoring situations. We're continuously looking at our training platforms, making sure we're doing the right thing and training officers correctly. So hopefully we don't have some of those unfortunate incidents that happen in other places.
And Chief Register, you mentioned a lot about what's going to happen moving forward, a lot of the initiatives that are moving forward. A lot of that presentation was about the technology. Great technology, because as a reporter covering Cobb County, we have to make sure that we are holding our public leaders accountable, and that's including law enforcement. And it comes down to transparency and accountability. And I think that's part of the reason why you are pushing forward with brand new technology for the sheriff's office. With that being said, this is a great initiative that you have, but how will we pay for it?
I can answer that. Again, I guess I like to say we're blessed to have a great county in Cobb County. We're blessed to have some great commissioners, a great county manager. And at this point in time, I've been blessed that they've given us the monies and opportunity to purchase things to make our officers safe as well as make our community safe. So I first and foremost have to say thank you to the Board of Commissioners, the county manager, for allowing us to purchase things they know is going to make our deputies safe, as well as going to make our community safe, and working within the budget guidelines they already set for. So we're not doing anything outside that line, but they have been so great to me at this point of providing us everything we need to be a very successful sheriff's office.
You mentioned recruitment. That's a big topic right now. And I'm sure law enforcement agencies, not only in Georgia, but across the country, it's very difficult to recruit great men and women. You have a great initiative put forward here that you presented to the folks here in Cobb County. How critical are these vacancies that you have right now in the sheriff's office? I'm not sure how many vacancies you currently have. Maybe you can start there. Last time we spoke a few months ago, I believe that number was close to 70.
Yes, the number has decreased. We are working extremely hard on our recruiting efforts. I like to say we're in our fourth quarter of the football game with a 2-minute warning, and we're going to score this touchdown and win. So we're driving very hard. I've instructed our recruiting team to no hold bars in recruiting. We go into different Army bases, going to colleges. We had a planned trip for Puerto Rico. We had to reschedule because of the virus that kicked up later this month, and we'll probably reschedule that next month. So we're also doing things locally. I think that our sheriff's office should be a reflection of the community from which we serve. So we're definitely trying to hire within Cobb County. If you notice in Cobb County, you're starting to see a lot of banners up in Cobb County saying that Cobb Sheriff's Office is hiring. We also rented a billboard in Cobb County letting them know we're hiring. So we're doing everything we can to get the word out that Cobb Sheriff's Office is hiring. We're doing things on the radio. That's from gospel, country, hip hop, urban, jazz. We're hitting all the platforms because we want to hire a diverse workforce for Cobb County. We think our sheriff's office should look like the community we serve. And Cobb County has a diverse community, so we should be hiring diverse applicants, and that's what we're doing. So I think we're doing the right thing in that aspect, and we're going in the right direction to meet that. We're around about 52 openings now. Is that right, Major? Yeah. About 52 openings now. Just so you know, since you brought it up, we're interviewing 14 on Friday.
Yep.
So and then we still got another 100 plus in the pipeline that want to come here. We've changed the way people want to look at law enforcement in the sheriff's office. We got, as the chief said, we had 200 plus want to come here. That's since we got in office. When I walked in office, we had a zero. We have over 200 want to come here. So I think they can see the changes that we're making for the positive for Cobb County Sheriff's Office, and it's enticing people to want to come here. And these not only just new recruits. Yeah, you can clap, that's great. And these just not only first time people get in law enforcement, we're talking about individuals who want to come from other departments, lateral entry, which is great for us as well. So we're working hard, and I think our efforts is not going unnoticed by other applicants as well as other veteran officers who want to come here now and be a part of this team.
In your first 100 days in office, you wanted to address community engagement, of course, the issues at the Cobb County Jail. You're in the middle of a pandemic still. What are the challenges in the next 100 days?
Well, a good question. Next challenge is continue to work on getting things done that I didn't get accomplished in this. I think I got 99.9% of everything I said I was going to do in the first 100 days. But I want to expand on it and continue to get better. We got a lot of renovations that we got to do in our detention center. You know, several $1 million worth of renovations. That's what we're going to work on. That's going to be our stranglehold for the summer to get our facility up to standards, to industry standards, to make us the best sheriff's office in the state of Georgia, not the nation. So we're going to get those much needed improvements. We're going to buy new technology, new x-ray machines to make sure we covering our bases inside our facility. Not only at the detention center, we're also going to upgrade technology and safety platforms at our judicial center downtown as well. So we have a lot of work to do. So in the next 100 days, we're looking at installing several new pieces of new equipment. There'd be camera systems, new door locking mechanism, new roofs, new plumbing issues we're going to get fixed, new x-ray machines, new body scanners. You name it, we're trying to get it so we can get to where we need to be.
So I got the exclusive on that? I got the exclusive on that inside?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right.
Question from the audience?
Good evening, Sheriff.
Good evening.
Mike Register, Rhonda. Good, good. So good to be here this evening to hear your report on what you've accomplished and where you're going. I'm very much aware of what you wanted to do in the first 100 days. But here's a question for you. Given the current climate, share with us what you are doing as you're trying to attract folk to come to Cobb County to make sure that something is being done to vet those who show interest, that they're not also bringing into our sheriff's department white supremacy.
That's a good question. You know, we do a thorough background check of every applicant to include, we look at their social media outlets to making sure that they're not affiliated with any terrorist group or supremacy groups as well. So I like to say we're doing a great job of that since I've been in office. I'm not sure if that was a customary practice prior to, but it definitely is now. So we review social media outlets, Facebooks, Twitter, all those different outlets we look at very carefully. We do a very thorough background check. We go out and actually talk to individuals that are known as associates and making sure that, hey, those associates are not mixed up in some of those extremist activities you mentioned. So I think those are things we got in place. And you want to add to it maybe?
Well, you know, like the sheriff said Friday, we're going to do interviews with 14 applicants. The sheriff, chief deputy, myself, members of the command staff. And it's not just a check the box interview. You know, we're looking for a lot of things in that interview. We have pre-written questions. We're looking for professionalism. We're looking for mental flexibility. We're looking for historical examples of their decision making. Because listen, police officers don't pull their weapon every day. They don't get in chases every day. But what they do every day, what every police officer and deputy does every day, is communicate and make decisions. And those are two critical areas that lead to a lot of what we're looking at today or what we're experiencing across the country. And so I like to think that we are doing due diligence in getting quality applicants and making sure that they are the men and women that the sheriff wants to represent him and has the requisite dedication and commitment to the community. And even when they get in the door, it doesn't stop there. Then the training begins. And it's almost like there's an assessment every day.
We have time for one more question.
Well, but listen, before we close, there's something I want to bring everyone's attention. Chief Rushers, you both know we're both veterans. I made a decision that was not very popular with a lot of people regarding a veteran and veterans in general. And so since we're in the era of being transparent, I thought I'd be transparent with you as well so you know my decision. Because I'm pretty proud of it, to be honest with you, but a lot of people don't like it. But sometimes it costs to be the boss, and you got to make decisions that everybody may not always agree with and understand that. Story: an employee, a veteran, severely injured in Afghanistan, lost parts of his hand and arm. Current employee met with me and said, "Hey, Sheriff, can I talk to you?" I said, "Absolutely. What's on your mind, young man?" He said, "Sheriff, I'd love to be a deputy." I said, "Do tell. Have a seat. Let's talk about it." He goes on to tell me the story. He tells me how he was injured in combat, how he lost a part of his arm and hand. And then he told me how his surgeries he's been, how many surgeries he went through, his rehabilitation period. Then he got out of the military with this discharge and worked at the Pentagon for a while, had another job, and he came here. And he said, "Sheriff, this is home. I always wanted to be a deputy before I went to the military and after I got out. And it's always been my dream." I said, "Okay, what else you got?" So he leaned over my desk with his cell phone and said, "Take a look at this." He showed me the cell phone. This young man lost several fingers on his hand. And he showed me a video of him shooting. He was shooting better than everybody have all 5 fingers. He was reloading quicker than us who have all their fingers. And not only just reloading shooting, for y'all who do shoot, he was on target. That young man is a recruit today, current recruit status at Cobb Sheriff's Office. So I got a lot of slack from people saying I should not handle someone hire someone who has a disability. I totally disagree, because he served our country. He lost part of his limbs for us in combat.
Come on. Here he is.
This recruit right here, Alex, he said the Pledge of Allegiance tonight. Good job. Thank you. I just want to let you know their decision that was not very well liked, but as I tell some people sometimes, I'm the boss, I'm gonna make it. So I made that decision, and he's currently doing outstanding in his training, and we look forward for him continuing. And I told him, and I tell her, I said, "I'm not gonna give you anything. You gotta earn it." He said, "That's all I want is opportunity." So he has the opportunity to earn it on his own, and he's a Marine, and so no doubt he's gonna give everything he got to get there. So again, please give him a round of applause. So with that being said, I think that ends for tonight. I'd like to tell you this. It is such an honor and privilege to be your sheriff. I'm working hard every day to make you proud, to make the citizens of Cobb County safe, and to take care of my employees and their families. That's my priority. You are my priority. So my office is always open. I don't sit behind a wall where you can't come see me. You can come visit our jail as long as we got time to show it to you. Okay? I have nothing to hide. You can come there and we'll show you what you need to see. We got community. We established some committees within the community to help us out and do things in our facility at the jail as well as down at the courthouse. So we're open. Again, I'm work for you. I work for you. So use me as you see fit. Again, thank you so very much for coming this evening, and I appreciate everything that you all have done to support the Cobb County Sheriff's Office and to support me personally as I become your new sheriff. Thank you so very much.
And thanks so much for your time, Sheriff Owens, Chief Register, Chief Anderson, the command staff. Thank you again. Good to see the men and women of the Cobb County Sheriff's Office in person. Thank you to the audience, both at home on Facebook and YouTube, and to our live audience here, including our elected officials. Thank you so much for being here. And before you all take off, we have a closing prayer, excuse me, and we're going to go ahead and bring up Bishop Sherman Scott.
Wow, what a sheriff department that plays Aretha Franklin and Michael Jackson. I was just waiting for Frankie Beverly and Mays. We are one. Certainly, beloved friends and family and citizens of Cobb County, we can all agree tonight that we are in good hands, and we did a great job at electing Sheriff Craig Owens and Deputy Chief Rhonda Anderson as our leaders of the Cobb County Sheriff Department. Let us pray. Dear God, our Father, we thank you for all the many blessings that you have given to us. We thank you, Lord God, for the signs throughout this beautiful world that you have given that you exist. We pause to say thank you for Craig Owens and for Rhonda. We thank you for Mike Register. We thank you for the command staff and all those that are in their employ. Father, we thank you for the work that they have done in these first 100 days for our beloved Cobb County. We now pray that you will continue to bless them, continue to lead them, continue to guide them as they continue to do this great work. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.